a helter-skelter type environment throughout this match under hot sunny skies in Canberra. Canberra has delivered in the weather department today, while not through the week. It has come to the fore in the national capital, and we see a good press from the Australians already. Wendy Alcorn coming, and 3 people around the player with the ball, and that's good surging from Kate Hollywood, the youngster, and Angie Skirving now to set them into attack. Mel Twitz just hangs off and waits, and composure. They're seeking this in the build-up, but they're also seeking some rhythm, some spontaneity, and some measured attack in the circle. And Karen Smith unable to control that. She just wants to keep on improving. She regretted missing out on the 2000 Olympics, but is back in the fray, and a very seasoned campaigner with well over 200 internationals. That's a beautiful ball forward. It picks out Nikki Hudson. Just loses a little bit of control. They track back, but it comes free again for Australia. Hollywood's in support. Hudson checks her stride. Back to Harold. Twit's available though. The cover comes. Ball out in front. But look, Karen Smith lurking. It's Smith now. 2 in front. Congested circle. Hollywood's at the far post. Skirving thunders it in. Takes a little bit of a deflection and hooked away by the Netherlands. Bright start from Australia.
Great sign from Australia. Their press has been good.
And the ball not finding its way through the sticks of the Netherlands. And the 3-1 defeat yesterday, while there'll be a different side today, it's still embedded in the psyche. They've been beaten and suffered too many in recent Champions Trophy history. The Netherlands, they were unbeaten in 12 prior to yesterday's match. And so it's easy to say we're going to turn it on. It's another thing doing it. Now they move Yiska Snooks. He's got Kim Lammers ahead, but really solid man-on-man marking at the back. As we watch the pass delivered in tight. There's no way through. Look at the sea of Australian defence in front. And sent all the way back. Archer Palman delivers it forward. And Yiska Snooks again. The dab comes in. And Blythe. It comes back to her stick. And thunders it forward. Nice trap from Hudson. One to beat. Does so. She streams away. Goes again. The support comes. It's a little bit wide. She's going to have to hold it up now. But very difficult to control under those circumstances. The supports arrives. Pressure now on Twitz. She's captured from behind, is she? Yeah, no. Sylvia Powers rushing back. Commits the error. And the Australians now will have an opportunity. Skirving to Halliday, played in her 100th international yesterday. Forward to Harold, one of the locals. Beats one, sends the pass in tight to Alcorn. Blythe can't get it into the circle, still there though. Hollywood battles away. Alcorn, can she centre it? Well, you can see the intensity in the early moments and the Australians having the better of the first few exchanges.
What's critical is that Australia have started well. They've had most of the ball, but they must remain vigilant in defence as Kim Lammers comes away.
Lammers breaks. She's got Hogue in support, but tracking back as Halliday with a fine interception to stop the prime attacking force. And that's off the stick of Skirving. We'll have it again. First 4 minutes of the match. No score as yet. And that's a blistering drive from Lammers. We'll see a few more of those as the day progresses. Not clearing effectively the Australians. And a little bit of danger as Mick van Gienhausen is brought down. But she committed the error, or at least fell of her own accord. Gienhausen. Now Alcorn. So a different lineup to yesterday from the Netherlands with Fatima Moreira de Melo, a much needed force, and Nick van Gienhausen as he goes to Sanders. She scored a couple already, her first 2 goals for Australia. To Halliday, and the press comes from the Dutch. Skirving, a little bit tardy, but manages to get it to Smith. And weaves it like a machete, trying to get it through the defence. Snooks and Lammers come at her. You can feel the tension in the early moments of this match as the Australians battle for some authority. Alcorn, magnificent skill from Alcorn. And now back to Harold. And Sanders gives them some width and a beautiful ball. And Hudson still manages to keep it there, but Gienhausen beats Harold in that tight exchange. And so they break free the Netherlands down the right side. It's an engaging contest in the opening moments of this match. And Fuchs sprints away, the ball into the centre. Hogue, that's a great tackle back there by Skirving, all the experience there. She's recovered from serious injury. She's in prime form, and that sort of tackle there can really boost the confidence of the side.
What's important here is that Australia is shifting the ball early. Often the first pass you see is the best pass. Australia must keep giving it.
And the Netherlands looking for a little bit of possession, snapping away again with Skirving. And the pass under pressure. Not good enough, and Halliday breaks away. Frees it to Blythe. And finds Smith in space, so they are finding space early. Alcorn, beautiful skills, dabs it inside. Walker's at the far post, can it get there? And it's taken away by one of the candidates for Young Player in the Year of the Year, Hoderi.
The Netherlands finding it hard to get clean breaks out of the midfield. It's by Australia working hard to get into good initial position on their press.
LeBron, and all the way back, they decide to start again. Mika Boy, now Powman.
Australia number 6, Megan Rivers.
And the press comes from Hudson. And she arrived. And the ball pumped forward, looking for Ellen Hogue. And seemed to come off the foot. The umpire said no. Hogue, one of the juniors in the side, feeds it forward. That's to no one, but it does take a deflection.
Let's see what Australia does here. This is where they have had problems during the week, getting the ball out of their deep left-hand side. They need to get numbers in front of the Netherlands players to allow the ball through.
And they are looking for some composure back there, but there's a little subtle difference between composure and fiddling, you might say. But they're really being squeezed here. Good pressure, and at the moment they've still got possession. But now, the error comes, and there's a chance for the Dutch. The ball goes back to Hogue. She couldn't get the shot in before she was clamped in stride by Skirving again.
Well played, Angie Skirving. She's got one of the best tackles in the Australian team, if not in world hockey. She comes up with it, but it was just well read by her, but it came from a mistake. Australia had the ball.
There's Hoderi looking for the way through. She brought down. Free hit. Sanders with some stoic defence, and they're congested in the circle. Sylvia Karras waits in the clear way at the far post. It goes venomously across the area. Halliday breaks free. That's good skill, and Hudson rages forward. But coming across is Mika Boyer to effect the tackle, and in fact keeps it in, so that's a doubly good piece of work there from the captain. Helen Hogue, they got to find some width through Yiska Schnooks, but in the middle here's Skolkman trying to barrel through, does so past Rivers, and there's a slight appeal there, as that looked to be a legitimate tackle. Certainly Madonna Blythe thought it was, but we're going to have the Netherlands with the play. So 9.5 minutes gone, no score on the board. Now it's with Matja Powman. Lammers makes the break. She just slaps it towards the circle. Karras is there, but the interception is made by Halliday. No one upfield. Powman's going to deliver it back again. A full swivel and a neat little offload there. And it goes away to Von Hidhausen. And look at her skill on the ball. The ball stuck to the stick. Back to Powman again as the defence pressing well, but they find the space out the right. The Brown now feeds it forward. Too far for Karras. And the Australian pressure pretty good. There wasn't too much available on.
They're working hard in the midfield. As soon as the ball moves to the other side of the field, Australia is shifting well. We know that the Netherlands can lend well with their flank halves, providing great passes to their strikers.
Now ball forward again, and Hudson, well, she's had a few short sprints which would be testing the legs. She claims she's in the best form of her career and battles hard to win that exchange. Still, ball on the stick for Nikki Hudson. Brought down. The umpire plays the advantage. And finally not. So we'll have the free hit. So Nikki Hudson.
I think Nikki Hudson, she's only scored 2 of Australia's 9 goals so far in this tournament.
And it's slapped in. Ooh, it looked to be a chance developing for Sarah Taylor. Too high, and the Netherlands will have some relief. So on the odd excursion forward, the Australians have looked a little bit dangerous today.
Previously, we've seen Australia not getting the ball early to their strikers so they have space. Generally, they're getting a contested ball, which makes it far more difficult. Australia so far getting the ball to their high strikers. Nikki Hudson's already had a few runs. It's good signs.
Oh, what a ball forward it was from Von Henghausen there, looking for another youngster, Ellen Hogue, and she'll have the restart. Mr. Snooks goes across, but a good probing pass of some 30 metres almost found the mark. Sarah Taylor back to stop Hogue, and it'll be another Netherlands ball from the sideline. Crowd, the best of the week, as you'd expect, ball across. And it was at the near post, spooned over by Kobe McGurk, but too high, and so it's going to be an Australian ball.
Just deflected too high. Free hit for Australia.
Now, pressure. It's hard on the ball today. Kim Walker battling hard, winning out.
Sometimes in these final matches, they can be not the prettiest of contests, and sometimes it merely means keeping your stick on the ball and winning the free hit. Don't give over possession. That's the key thing. Limit turnovers from both teams here. I'm sure both Mark Lammers and Frank Murray would have emphasised that point.
Fed forward. And a nice dab back it was from Sarah Taylor. And upfield was Kate Hollywood. And the passes direct. A couple of small psychological errors in the early moments, but you'd anticipate that with a lot of pressure on. We've got the two big names in world hockey, and particularly in the Champions Trophy, with 6 wins in their history for Australia and 3 for the Netherlands. Well, that ball seemed to be in slow motion to Skirving, but it finds the mark, not so the next pass to Taylor. A little more precision required. 12 minutes gone, no score in the final of the Women's Champions Trophy for 2005, coming to you from the national capital of Australia in Canberra. And a great crowd, and Taylor hooks it forward. A nice trap there by Megan Rivers. Goes again. Oh, it came off the leg of Rivers, but the error previous to that was the one penalised, and it's quickly taken from Twitt to McGurk, and they're all in the centre, the Australians. Here's McGurk, and he thunders it in from outside the circle. So the Netherlands here take the opportunity to break, and again, they just can't quite find the mark in the attacking zone. Breaking now is Fatima Moreira de Melo. You can see that right knee heavily strapped. She was hit by a ball just above it the other day. And, well, she was out of this match until the very last moment. Seemed to be a good tackle from Skirving. Not according to official eyes. It's a good pressure so far from the Australians as the ball goes between the leg and it's the body of Ellen Hogue, and Australia now work it, and that's good thinking, good vision from McGurk. And Rob, though, as Arolds, not as good vision. Naomi Van Aas, 4 around her like a swarm, and she's forced to use all her skill and does so pretty well. But look at the Australian pressure. They're not giving Yannicka Scottman any time. A good release. She's got pace here, Hogue. She takes on Skirving, still with Hogue, and wins out. No penalty corner from the edge of the field. The ball will come into play again this time from Yiska Snooks. Back to Hogue, back to well-read Sarah Taylor. One of the local representatives in this Australian side. And it's thrashed in, and too high, according to the umpire. So Australia get the advantage there.
For Australia 13, Wendy Alcorn.
Alcorn tackling well, and just undoes a little bit of good work with a bad bounce off the leg.
Good pressure from the Netherlands.
Swatted away to Hodri from Skopman. Hollywood comes at her. 2 young players collide. 2 people we're going to be seeing a lot of in world hockey over the next 10 years or so. Moreira de Melo, a scouting run. Finds Naomi Van Aas, but also a thick number of Australian defenders, and they succeed again. A bad release, and is that going to present an opportunity? Hogue can't get it to Karish. Back as Taylor with a decisive dab, and streaming away now is Walker. Back to Taylor again. Beautiful play from Australia. Hollywood now needs some support. Looks up and dances well. Gives it to Twitt and to McGurk. the 20-year-old from Western Australia. Thrashes a pass that Hoderi does brilliantly well to intercept, but they're coming unstuck with a few orthodox releases from their own zone, the Australians. Naomi Van Aas on the prowl, downfield, and takes it all the way to the back line and just wins a long corner. So it seems that the Australians are eager not to give away as many penalty corners by careless infringements in the zone, and she was looking to buy that. Still, the ball thrashed. Twit, good trap. Emma Meyer beaten, loses out, and is it going to come back again? All the way into the circle goes Ellen Hogue, who's operating with good pace right and left, and the pressure well and truly on Australia. It has been for some minutes now, but they survive. 16 minutes gone, no score. And that's half chance. It was thrashed in again by Hogue and away by Australia. But they're only succeeding in giving the Netherlands back the ball.
Relieving a little bit of pressure from Emily Halliday, but Australia must really look after this ball, protect it with their life.
Minka Boy, 165 internationals, a wealth of experience. She's right in the one-on-one situation, and they're probing great width, and De Bruin sends it in. It almost comes clear to Van Aas, and they get the penalty corner. They surrender one, the Australians.
You can't help but think that that was about to happen. The Netherlands concerted pressure, Angie Skirving in the right position, but just clipping her foot. The Netherlands, first 10 minutes, Australia controlled the match. The second 8 minutes or so, Netherlands have started to get on top. It's come from some of Australia's turnovers, and it's led to some concerted pressure from the Netherlands for their first penalty corner of the match.
And Marcia Powman is there. Is this going to be a variation? Are there going to be some far post runners here? Minka Boy is there. Powman misses it. Boy slides it. Imerson saves it brilliantly again. Does Rachel Imerson kick the Netherlands at bay?
Nikki Hudson back for Australia.
Well, they've survived one, and good signs. Their defence is highly respected by Mark Lammers, the Dutch coach, particularly from the penalty corner situation, as Moreira de Melo amazingly keeps the ball in play. Still there, off the foot again. No. They just have it from the edge. Threatening danger there, and a wry smile from the seasoned veteran, the lawyer come television presenter in the Netherlands. Back to Powman, and they're going to go for a deep build-up once more. De Bruin gives them width. Hoderi goes over to help. Three around her, putting pressure on the youngster, but she just slides it away with just a caress. Sculpman now dangerously forward, looking for the offload, and does so to Van Aas. In the centre is Hogue and Fuchs. Well, it's a sustained patch of pressure for the Australians. They haven't seen the other end for some time. Are they going to concede a goal? The ball thrashed. It's in tight. Skirving away. McGurk further away. But it's going to be back on the stick of the Netherlands.
Well
Very
done,
tense moments.
Sorry, Peter. Well done, Angie Skirving. A trap under real pressure.
And they try the high ball. It goes all the way to Moreira de Melo. And she's going to go again, looking for the penalty corner, and wins it. And Marelisa de Klerk gave the signal.
I'm sure what happened was Karen Smith watched closely here. She makes a great tackle. It's definitely not a penalty corner. And Conan, the umpire down the end where they're attacking, couldn't see. She looked to de Klerk. De Klerk signalled a penalty corner. Netherlands very lucky, Australia unlucky.
It's Minka Boy in there as well, and Powman. They messed up the last one, but it still required a save, and they mess up this one as well.
Justice.
And a quick release from Madonna Blythe. Slipped over, regains the feet though, but she was in oodles of space. Oh, the offload though was not good, but it was into the knee of Polkamp, Sophie Polkamp. So Australia, they turn defence into attack. Nikki Hudson. And she buys one. Does Nikki Hudson. And Australia pour forward in numbers. And they're all in there. Hollywood gets slapped in. There it is with Hollywood. Off the leg it is. And over the back line, Alcorn, who's getting married next week. Wendy Alcorn. She was in the mix in the middle there, the number 13, but couldn't quite get to her.
Have to try and receive those overhead balls on the full. Too difficult once they're bouncing.
Parrish feeds it away to Van Aers. Long loping strides. Polkamp darting, still with Polkamp. And looks to feed it back, but very cool, very calculated. Halliday muffs the release somewhat, but back there to help is Hudson. And she just slams it into the leg of Fatima Moreira de Melo, who in anger quickly feeds it back to Van Aers. Looking for that knee, perhaps. Wouldn't think that'd be the case, but she was looking for the other end of the field, certainly Hudson. No quarter given. Moreira de Melo backing the knee out of the danger zone there. She put it out of play for a moment and said, do not. And there, Nikki Hudson, and they share a good moment of sportsmanship.
I think Fatima said, I've got one sore knee, now you've hit the other one.
Minka Boy. Now a little bit of space in midfield. Can the Australians make something of it? Arrold's away to Hollywood. Nowhere to go and surrounded. Back to Arrold. And they've got the width from McGurk. And the pressure comes. And looking for the edge was Alcorn. Hollywood looking for the drive. Still there. Reverse stick from Hudson. Oh, magnificent save. 3 dips from the Australians. Oh, they went oh so close. But Darofa has come up with a beauty to keep the Australian side at bay. And now Naomi Van Aers breaks again. 13 and a half to go before half time. It's just evaporated. It's a game of great intensity. Here goes Hudson. Still with Hudson. And now Powman breaks Van Aers. And too far out in front of Von Hinghausen. And Blythe says, thanks very much. Hoderi misses the first attempted tackle. And Blythe chancing her arm there. But she can't quite come up with the definitive pass forward. Van Hinghausen. Well, she's all alone, and they just drop off for a bit. Not too many options forward. Substitution made. Hogue comes back on for the Netherlands. So it goes out to Chantal de Bruin, who celebrated a 100th international yesterday. Back to Matja Hoderi. And in the midfield now is Von Heenhausen. Ishka Snooks. Numbers there. Oh, great skill it was from Ellen Hogue. She managed to evade Angie Skirving, but couldn't keep the ball in play. Just a slight touch there from Skirving on the way through. Keeps the Netherlands with possession. Snooks. 2-on-1. Work it out of play. Alcorn and Hollywood combining. And a real battle with the sticks. Hogue again. Slides it dangerously. But it's cleared, and desperately so.
Good work, good press by Karen Smith, putting pressure on Van Geenhausen.
And she comes again. Again, likes tracking forward with the ball on the stick. Shadowed all the way by Alcorn. And the crowd enjoying the entertainment. And Australia come up with it. And Alcorn, a very good campaigner for Australia, has come up with some aggressive work. Smith getting herself into a little bit of a knot.
Need to give sympathetic passes, and by that I mean if it's a short pass and it's easy, it has to be flat every time. It takes that extra second to trap a bouncing ball.
Hoderi with the tackle. Australia still have it. Emma Meyer, a good feed away to Sanders, giving them width again. A great run by Hudson. Control not quite with the veteran Australian player who desires a couple more Olympic Games to go with her already prestigious record. Hoderi, she's quick, very sharp, and the wide ball goes away to Marcia Powman. Looking for the little bumper, a little bit of a shoulder and a bump, and gee, I don't know, in most other games in world sport, that'd be just part of the toing and froing of the game.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Melanie Twitt was going for the ball there. It's a bit of a push and a shove, but Australia certainly need to match the Netherlands with their physical intensity, and Melanie Twitt leading by example.
Oh boy, there's a 90-metre pass all the way downfield. Well, 10 minutes to go before half-time, and no score.
Australia need to take it pretty quickly as they did. The bottom left-hand corner still causing them problems. Netherlands get the ball back, but luckily, bad pass by Shotman.
Well, now they break. Here's Melanie Twitt receiving it from Walker, and a ball out in front of Rivers, and what promised to be a threatening build-up comes unstuck.
We have a green Holden Statesman blocking an emergency exit. Must be moved immediately. YDY69Q.
Back to Lammers. Karish again. Lammers has made the run. She's embedded in the sideline, close to the bunker where the coaches are watching and the replacements. And a quite warm afternoon in the national capital. We've seen all seasons this week. It's been as low as 9 degrees for some of the matches. Now it's in the mid-20s today as we watch the Netherlands try and construct some sort of threatening attack inside the last 10 minutes before half-time. Champions Trophy Women's Final, the 13th. And the third between these two sides in the history of the tournament. Australia having won the 2 previous finals against the Netherlands. Well, the numbers were there, but Hoderi, she's everywhere at the moment, having a sparkling game. Van Kinhausen battling hard off the foot there, sort of casually from Taylor, which concedes the free hit in the danger zone again. And this is the area of ultimate concentration for the Australians. Well, they go the short pass, still with Van Kinhausen, feeds it in and spooned away by Sanders. Brilliant release, no one downfield, but you just want to clear it as quickly as possible. And Rebecca Sanders, who's scored a couple of goals in the tournament so far, shows her defensive prowess.
We know that Australia has the best defensive record coming into this final. Limited goals scored against them. In fact, only 2 goals scored against Australia. And so far the defence is holding up. Needs to be. Netherlands have had far more of the possession in this first half.
Now the Netherlands, again, pressured. Rivers does some good work, forcing the release away to Minka Boy. And Australia, are they going to come up with it? No. All off the leg of an Australian defender. And so it's a moment of some introspection here for both sides, looking for a chance. Ellen Hogue does the full pirouette, and she tries for the early release, but leaves it in turn. And Moreira de Melo to the back line. Hogue, danger. Karish is there. Oh, so too Snooks. And they win the penalty corner. They had the weight of numbers in there, the Netherlands.
Must be frustrating for Frank Murray. We see the ball go in, and just a bad trap by Emily Halliday. She had it there. The setup was right for Australia. And Kim Lammers, of course, who scored goals for the Netherlands at this tournament from this position, 23. Look for her at the top.
Here's Lammers, the top goal scorer. And there's a rehearsed move, and it pops wide.
The push-out was poor from the Netherlands.
And slap to the near post, but they won't be happy with that, the Netherlands. And Australia survives once more.
Push-out went far too to the right, and in the end, De Bruin had a shot.
Blythe with a raking pass forward to pick up Nikki Hudson. Beats one. Can't beat the second. Blythe comes up in support with stick swinging, but it was against De Bruin, who also had that. And they're guilty of player watching. Twitt, though, might take advantage of it. She claims the penalty corner and wins one. Wins the penalty corner for Australia with a raging run forward. And their high conversion rate could be cause for some optimism.
Was it a penalty corner? We're not sure. Melanie Twitt had the ball, but anyway, for Australia, perhaps it's justice from the other one up the end. De Klerk gives Australia a penalty corner, and, well, probably not a great deal in it. Minka Boy a little bit upset with that. Let's look for Australia's number 24, Angie Skirving. We know that she's got a dynamite push flick into the goal.
Skirving poised, and Skirving's going to have first try. Oh, just wide, slid off the foot, it seemed, of the keeper, Tarofa. And another fine take by Australia.
Angie Skirving slapping it in. They're looking for a deflection. Madonna Blythe has already scored a couple of goals from that situation. She had a stick there but didn't get the raised ball for the deflection, but hit in exactly the right place from Angie Skirving.
Yes, the Hoofer was down in a position regardless. Now Skirving robbed here. Lammers now. Lammers, she can score, and good covering up from Skirving. He seemed to muff that reverse stick pass into the centre, and now Twit will break, looking for the runner, and the mistrap in the centre from Walker. It goes high off the stick, but it's going to be play on now as Moreira de Melo runs at the defence, beats Harold as Sanders comes out, a ball out in front, and she'll guard it over the back line.
Mel Twit was under pressure there, didn't have a lot of numbers to pass the ball to. It's tough, it's a final, it's pretty warm.
Here's Hudson now, breaking forward.
But the midfielders need to get the ball here. There's no one really in the middle. Kim Walker's there now. The right idea, you need to work hard. They'll be feeling tired, incredibly fatigued, but this is 4 minutes to go. At the end of each half, it's critical.
Now the lifted ball downfield, and Ellen Ho can't control it, can't trap it when it had beaten Angie Skirving. I'd say that was an opportunity lost. Just bounces a little hard off the stick of Twit, and that's cool play, sending it back to Emily Halliday and forward to Harold. That's a nice release. Can they keep it going? They can indeed. Alcorn now spurts away. Rivers is upfield. Taylor wants to pinch it off the stick, and finally they combine to win the free hit about 25 metres out from goal. 3 minutes to go before half-time. No scorers yet. Concern now for Mark Lammers. Harold has one dab at the ball, and Twit might get it back here. The extended arm, and Twit appealing. She didn't see any irregular stick work there, like the umpire. Monica Skorpman. Van Enhausen. Still with Von Genhausen. Good play away to Moreira de Melo. Fuchs is in the centre, and so too Karish. And now they have a drive at the circle. Desperate from Karen Smith, and she does well, releasing Alcorn. On the burst is Taylor now. Alcorn wants the return, gets it. Beautiful play so far. Rivers makes the run, still with Alcorn. Ball stuck on the stick. Hollywood's in the centre, and Rivers lets it go over the back line. But a promising build-up from the Australians.
Well done, Australia. Great play. Wendy Alcorn, she's been dominant in the last few minutes for Australia, just showing real strength over the ball. It's a simple pass given. Unfortunately, Megan Rivers not able to control it. Great signs for Australia.
A very watchful Skirving, and comes in with a 50-50 exchange and just about wins out. And there is the penalty going against Kim Lammers for that bumping, grinding performance. Good skill on the edge from Karen Smith. And Karen Smith will take them on and the win out. Now Rivers lurking up in the circle, so too Hollywood. They want to get some sort of return from the territory. Some sort of field goal operation has been on during the week for the Australians to try and conjure up a few more. They're great from the penalty corner situation, but they just haven't been able to manufacture the last pass in the circle.
That's right, Peter. We know before this match, Australia had scored 6 of their 20 penalty corners, which is a pretty high percentage, and that's 6 of their 9 goals from the whole tournament. So I'm sure the message would have been from Frank Murray in the pre-match meeting, let's get penalty corners. If we get inside the circle, we can't have a shot at goal, find a foot, win a penalty corner. And as yet, Australia with only 1 penalty corner in this half.
And a couple of long passes, all to no avail. And both sides perhaps just wanting to get to that half-time break and feel the words of advice from the respective coaches, both highly respected men, tactically and technically.
I think Frank Murray, since he's returned to the coaching role, he's provided a more professional approach, more discipline, and they've got back that work ethic that I think perhaps was lost in the previous Olympics.
Looked to be a good tackle from McGurk. I'm sorry, Jen, but the Australians concede the free hit and slammed in too high, far too high. Yes, and a number of the players will testify to that too. They enjoy that ethic, working on a lot of moves and also working on their fitness. Half-time in the 13th Champions Trophy Tournament for women. The boxing kangaroo flies proudly, defending the history, if you like, of Australia.
Today, after missing yesterday's loss to the Hockey Roos.
How's the knee? Will you be okay today? Are you a chance of playing?
You never know. What do you think?
How did it feel?
What do you
then?
think?
How did it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
Felt better than yesterday, so yeah, I hope I'll be able to play a few minutes.
Obviously,
we'll see.
It's such a big game. You don't want to miss a match like this.
Exactly, and it's a beautiful atmosphere. Australia's a good opponent, so as we saw yesterday. So I'm looking forward to play a few minutes if I can.
Did you think Thursday, when you took the blow, that you would be able to play this weekend?
No, not at all. Especially the next day, my knee was so swollen. But yeah, it's pretty slim now, and it feels quite good. So I always want to play, of course, but the question is how I will get through the warm-up and stuff, so we'll see.
And what about playing the Hockey Roos here in front of a big crowd? It'll be a tough game.
It'll be tough, but it'll be fun as well. I mean, crowd is always cool with hockey. We're lucky to have big crowds these days, and yeah, I'm pumped to play. It's great. Australian people are great people to play for, so.
And this match, your team's obviously pretty confident?
Well, we lost yesterday, so we're pretty focused today, and this is the match that we were playing for all week, so we'll see what happens.
Well, she's played nearly 200 games for the Netherlands, and Claire, even if she's not 100%, she's worth having out there.
Well, absolutely. You'd think she'd almost have to be having only one leg in action. In fact, incapacitated for her not to be playing. She's so important for the Dutch team.
And what kind of a contribution do you think she's been able to make?
I think she's been very important. She's provided a link in midfield for the Dutch and some really important experience, and that may just take the toll for the Australian team, who are relatively inexperienced.
I guess what the Australians are looking for in this second half, we're nearly ready for it, is a few more penalty corner opportunities. That's where their best chances have come.
Well, certainly they've converted a great percentage of their corners so far, so I'm sure Frank Murray will be asking for them to achieve that same goal in the second half.
All right, ready for the second half. Let's get across to Peter Wilkins and Jen Morris. Australia and the Netherlands, 0-0.
1 half to go. Maybe a little bit of extra time. The two sides back on the field for the resumption of play. The defending champions in the Champions Trophy, the Netherlands, up against the most decorated side, the Australians, and one of the most decorated in Australian sport, the women's hockey team, the Hockey Roos. And these girls, many of them in this side, grew up with the great deeds of the sides that won 3 Olympic Games. That was their inspiration. The Netherlands, well, they've got 12 players who returned from their winning side back in 2004 when they defeated Germany 2-0 in the final. Kate Hollywood, one of the youngsters there, who was inspired by the Olympic deeds and wanted to become a Hockey Roo. It's all to play for now. They're surprise finalists. And the message would be, Jen Morris, why not go on with it? Why not go on to the victory?
Exactly. What a great time it is for the Hockey Roos. 0-0 at half-time. They're in the final against the #1 team in the world.
And they pour into attack straight away, the Netherlands. So you'd expect the ante would be up from both sides here. There was the occasional tentative moment, both sides feeling each other out in the first half, but this is when it's going to matter. And maybe, can they sneak a goal to really put the pressure on the Netherlands, the acid test on the world #1?
I'm sure the message would have been very simple and very calm from Frank Murray for the Australian team. Limit the turnovers, limit the mistakes, give the early pass, and let's force some penalty corners. They've only had one so far. Let's get Angie Skirving up there and give her another try.
Australians building up down the right side. Mark Lammers, what would he have said to his team? Up the pace a little bit, try and put a bit more pressure on as Australia. We'll find that answer in just a moment as Madonna Blythe does some good work. That's a beautiful release to a player in space. An Alcorn off the twit pass in the centre now. They work forward. Smith battling hard, looking for the cut back to Hudson. Can't quite find it, nor the penalty corner. But that's positive from the Australians. They strung a few passes together and a cause for some confidence and nerves from Frank Murray. Ball slid in, it's there. Hudson looking for the reserve stick, kicked away, desperately so. Arroll's going to reef it back in once more. And Dylan Hogue comes in to effect the stop. 3-hit Australia, quickly taken. No one there, or at least the stick of the defensive Minka Boy was there for the Netherlands. Now swatted back to Emily Halliday. Numbers weaving, the runs are being made in the circle. Good build up again. Arrold feeds it away to Sanders. Sanders slides it in, looking for the deflection. It's there! Oh yes, Wendy Alcorn has scored! And they go to appeal.
The question is, did Wendy Alcorn get a stick on the ball? It was fired from outside the circle.
Wendy Alcorn.
Watch it here. Nick Arrold passes off. It's fired in. She claims it straight away. Then Minka Boy saying, oh no, you did not get your stick on it. Wendy Alcorn went straight up.
Well, they've come back again. Highly controversial. The goal has been reversed. Alcorn, who's going to be swapping the green and gold for the white next week when she gets married, cannot believe it.
Only Wendy Alcorn will probably definitively know whether she did get a touch on the stick. She claimed it. I don't think she would claim it if it wasn't the case.
Well, it's it was Alcorn again at the far post again, who had another look at that drive.
Watch, the ball is fired in from Rebecca Sanders. Well, it's hard to tell. She went up straight away, claimed the goal. It just shows if you don't agree with something, go and contest it with the umpire. The Netherlands did that, led by their captain Minka Boy. The decision was reversed after de Klerk and Konen had discussed it.
And that came off the foot. Well, where's the stickometer when you need it? As the Netherlands concede, it rattled them somewhat, but the appeals, is that unusual? Jen Morris, a dual Olympic gold medalist, to see the decision reversed in discussion with the other umpire. Shouldn't they not call for the replay to make absolutely sure of the decision?
Well, it's an interesting point, bringing in video umpires to the game of hockey. And however, in this case, I'm not sure that would have even given the answer. It was so close. The Netherlands appealed immediately. However, I'm not sure if they would have known any more. Let's watch it in slow motion. Rebecca Sanders fires it in. Well, it looked like it didn't hit.
Like it missed from that angle, but we'd need another couple of looks at it, I think. I've caught high on the stick. Well, now the Netherlands chance to break here. Karish impeded, and Skirving, hand up, says yes, I did the deed. Ellen Hogue races away. Karish is in there and supports. Is not found as the interception comes from Halliday, and they're still rocking from that decision. And they survive. Lammers, an imposing shape in the centre of the circle as von Henhausen battles for the ball, tries the quick start, kicked away. And we'll have it again, not back to 5. And now the civil engineer, Yannicka Scotland, slides it in, and it was there on the stick of Lammers for just a brief moment. She scored 36 goals in 63 internationals for her country and is the most dangerous attacking force for the Netherlands. Now Alcorn battles away again, unperturbed by that last decision. She would have claimed it legitimately and would have thought probably that it did hit the stick in the heat of the moment, with sticks clapping. The defender's stick behind hers. Madonna Blythe to Smith in space. Not much on for her. Alcorn needed to make the run to the right. For Angie Skirving, it's going to be her ball, and available is Twitch. Nice ball forward to Smith. This is promising from the Australians. Forward to Hudson. Walker's available. Still with Hudson. Can't find Walker. And they break, and the game is opening up somewhat. This is a pacey burst from Sylvia Karish. Puts it forward, out in front of Hogue. No, now it is, yes. Hogue with the ball. Lammers at the far post. It's Ellen Hogue, locked brilliantly. Still there. Danger not gone. Oh, there was some brilliant defence from Nick Arrold. The Dutch come again through Fatima Moreira de Melo, and Sanders manages to hold her at bay for just a moment. It's tense. It's thrashed in and all the way across the face of goal, and Lammers was half a chance to get a touch.
One of the things Mark Lammers would have been asking, we see the ball smashed across the circle, and it was Lammers that was trying to do a Wendy Alcorn. But Mark Lammers would say that one of their strengths, the Netherlands, is their counter-attacks. We saw Australia had great possession up the field, and then streaming down the other end of the field are players like Hogue. We know that the Netherlands are incredibly talented.
They take breath, both sides, as does the big crowd here in the national capital, enjoying the fair, and a little bit of controversy to go with it too, with a no-goal ruling against Wendy Alcorn. He's got plenty on her mind. There's the ball thumped in. It takes a harmless deflection. Yes, when you're trying to build up to a big tournament and your wedding day, getting married to Steve in Brisbane next week before holidaying in Vanuatu, and the issue confused by an apparent goal and then not given. Now the press comes from the Australians. Alcorn's up there with Madonna Blythe, Nikki Hudson, and it's spooned forward. Oh, there's a bump from Halliday. That'll be penalised.
The rule states whoever gets there first has the advantage, and the umpire's correct. Carros winning the ball.
There's Hogue, dangerous. Helen Hogue feeds it away. No, Van Us at the back line couldn't quite contain that. She's only played 33 internationals, but has a fairly good strike rate of 6 goals as well.
Just unable to make the trap. But what a luxury for Netherlands when you've got players like Hogue and Van Aert that are so incredibly young. Hogue only 19 years of age, and not just a member but an integral member of the strike force of the Netherlands team.
Here's Van Aert, the 22-year-old. Hogue away on the left side. It goes in turn to Fatima Barrera de Melo. To Hogue now. She beats a player with ease. And another one. Helen Hogue still going. And a beautiful tackle. The Australians. Back there was Emily Halliday, and they win out. And now there's great aggression on the ball from both sides. 27 minutes to go, still no score on the board.
Nikki Hudson has played with real intensity, and it's been infectious for the other Australian players.
Kevin McGurk playing with experience beyond her 20 years during the tournament. She's been one of the finds in the eyes of Frank Murray. She's really stepped up to the plate. Skirving flips it off the foot of the advancing Van Aert. So we get into the time now where a goal would give a side so much impetus to go on and win the tournament, win the title. It's the most prestigious annual event in women's hockey. The 13th staging of the event. Ball forward to Karish, but Australia firm at the back. And Arrold, she's been good today in her work. To Halliday. Skirving's available, goes forward again to Arrold. And good play away to Twits. It's opening up here for the Australians. And Rivers looks for the ball from Hudson, but Hudson wins the free hit. It's going to be quickly taken by Sarah Taylor. Hudson slams it near post. The kick is required at the near post. Still there, Taylor. They appeal for the penalty corner, and it's given by Melanies of the clock again. They combine to come up with a decision.
Bit of teamwork there once again from the umpires. Conan was unsure. Looked to de Klerk. Nikki Hudson. Ball comes out, and then Nikki Hudson gets the ball again. We see just clipping the foot of their captain, Minka Boy.
Well, now let's have a look at the battery at the top of the circle. Australia with this high strike rate from the set piece. And is it going to be Angie Skirving? Hudson, are they going to go for a variation, or are they going to go with the strength? The Australians here to take the lead. It's Skirving! The ball saved brilliantly with the left hand, and it was magnificent from Lisanne de Ronfa. There's the knock save. Danger not gone for the Dutch. Slammed in and away in a very congested area. An orchestra of sticks and players in there. Tight together.
Watch Angie Skirving. She got it exactly where she wanted, but De Rufa equal to the task.
There's McGurk. And again, you have to remember that one slight defensive error could cost a side the time. You don't want to think about that. You just want to play the game that's in front of you. 24 minutes to go. A bit over that. And Angie Skirving, who's recovered from a knee reconstruction, she still needs a little bit of work on a tear to the meniscus in the knee, but she's going to have that between or after the Commonwealth Games. She's going to survive until then. She plays without pain at the moment as we watch a little bit of pushing and shoving up front for the Australians. And the press comes from Australia. Hudson prowling away, and Helen Hogue can't quite control the ball, which is an advantage for the home side. skirting it's upfield. Taylor's made the run. A little bit flat-footed was Megan Rivers, but gets away with it. Well, Twitch pumps it in. No one making the run. She pumped it into space, inviting someone to dart forward and grab onto the chance. Mel Twit, who partners one of the members of the men's hockey team. No doubt their talk at home is about performances past and in the future with Matthew Wills, Kookaburra.
Been an equal game so far. Both teams looking after possession pretty well in this second half.
Here's Von Keenhausen battling hard, and the ball free. The pass back. Hudson 1-on-3. That won't deter her. She'll go. Sarah Taylor makes the run into the circle. The cross comes in. Oh, Sarah Taylor just wide. A glorious chance. A surging run from the veteran, and it almost bore fruits.
It's Nikki Hudson. She's dynamite. She takes on 1, 2, 3, 4 players and she gets the shot across. It gets a deflection off Minka Boy, and then Sarah Taylor, almost a diving deflection, just misses the net. Great exciting play from Australia.
The Netherlands here, that have to be rattled after the last 5 minutes or so. Australia are playing their best hockey of the tournament, as they have done in the second half of each match during the tournament so far. This is the 6th in 9 days. De Bruin, a little bit of space. Now they're forced to do a bit of defending. And Fuchs chases hard, but it's a great tackle from Twix again. And now Taylor coolly on the ball. And can they keep it going with Walker, the Tasmanian-born representative on this side? It's forward now, beautiful pass away, and all of a sudden they're starting to look like a supreme side, not the number 4 in the world, they're matching the number 1 side in the world.
Australia, Frank Murray, I think would be incredibly proud. I made the comment earlier, he really has started to instill a couple of important things, regardless of who you are, what players you've got, is work ethic, discipline. You have to work hard in these games, regardless of your talent. And they're certainly doing that. You have to keep leading for the ball. Both the Netherlands and Australia are showing that. Players like Wendy Elkhorn, Kate Hollywood have really started to step up in this game, and it's great to see.
Emma Meyer gets the advantage of a bat. Here's Elkhorn again. It's spooned away. Walker, still with Walker, who knocks it finally away. Oh, Elkhorn had a dip. So too Walker. Then Walker, who's only scored a couple for Australia in her history with the side. That would have been a spectacular addition to the archive.
Kim Walker has a flick. De Rolfer saves it. The ball comes out. It's bouncing. Who made it dangerous? That's the question. Netherlands in favour their time this time.
Kim Walker, another moment for her. She's played 37 internationals, which is quite a number, but she was selected back in 1998 as we watch a young sparkler for the Netherlands. Houderi releasing it to another one in Helen Hogue, and they give it away for the lifted ball. 20 and a half to go. High pressure environment here in the national capital of Australia, and the ball given up to Naomi Van As, but she can't control it under pressure. Hogue still has the opportunity, and is there a chance developing here for the Netherlands to scratch out a lead? It's fed in, and it's pumped into Iverson. Oh, she makes a save. She put her body on the line yet again. It was an incredible save under pressure with Fuchs darting in there, and Rachel Iverson proudly stands tall again in the Australian goal. They break down the left side through Karen Smith. Ball on the stick, and the Brown back.
Great play by the Netherlands. Van As and Hogue, the young players of the Netherlands, doing great stuff. Rachel Iverson, though, she has been outstanding. The 2 players for Australia at this tournament, if we have a look here, both Rachel Iverson, she comes up the save, Hogue comes across, and it's Van As that has a shot. Rachel Iverson makes the save. Both her and Tony Cronk, Peter, have been outstanding. Tony, of course, not playing in this tournament, and they're both actually coached by former Hockey-Roo and dual Olympic gold medalist from 1996 and 2000, Clover Maitland, and of course Rachel, a former teammate, but she has done a great job with them to continue just how well they've played, particularly Tony Cronk. So it's great to see, and Rachel brought on to make another save.
Yes, and she's playing in a 154th international, which has surpassed the number by Clover Maitland. She's the most decorated Australian player, twice nominated for Player of the Year too. As Frank Murray muses with 19 minutes to go, and he'll be reflecting on the odd chance. He needs something to go their way, and it was almost one down. Speculative ball forward. A boy in the whale. Skulkman.
Great pass, turns defence into attack.
But they lose out. And this is Halliday. Comes the pass up to Smith. Trap, control, look.
As the game remains at 0-0, the clock's ticking down. Who becomes a little more anxious? Is it the Netherlands that are expected to win? Is it Australia that thought they probably wouldn't be here, but now we've got this opportunity to claim the Champions Trophy? I would say that Mark Lammers is feeling pretty tense and Frank Murray feeling pretty good about how his team's going.
For Australia, Rebecca Sanders in 9.
LeBron, replacement made. And Sanders back on. Lammers wins out. Not much on. Good stick positioning there from Sanders again. And now breaking is Karish. He's the equal leading goal scorer in the tournament at this moment, along with Soledad Garcia from the Argentinian side. Can advance on that? The Australians will be hoping not. But now they're under the squeeze temperamentally and defensively. There's the Netherlands through Karish, beats one, beats two, but tries to beat three, and that was her error. Thundering, falling over the opponent. Beautiful work from Hudson, tracking downfield, and she'll win out. No, in fact, the ball off an Australian stick. Karish again goes, slides away from Sanders, and a sliding tackle from Meyer. A good one. From Keenhausen. To Karish for Keenhausen with a delicate little pass to Fatima Moreira de Melo. It comes to naught, and they still exist with no score against the Australians and only 2 for the tournament, which is equal to the fewest goals conceded in the history of the tournament across the 6 games. As we watch now, a danger though. Hoderi skates away, gives it to Yiska Snooks, and Snooks feeds it away to Lammers. Oh, and there's a brilliant read on the save. It was a magnificent hit, a sliding deflection from Sylvia Karish, but what a save again from Imerson. It's going to come back once more from the Netherlands. Van Heenhausen. She waits, holds the pass up. She's got an inordinate amount of skill, but on that occasion, the bounce goes in favour from Australia. She's recovered from a car accident last year and fatigues rather quickly.
Watch Lammers here. It is just a brilliant save by Rachel Imerson. Well done by Karis, but we talk about goal scorers. Here's one, Nikki Hudson.
Here's Hudson in the centre. Here's Alcorn. Near post, can she find her? And they come down in a tumble of bodies and sticks. Australia looking for the quick restart. Smith's in there, so too Alcorn. And the Netherlands release. Moreira de Melo can't trap. Sanders can send it back in again for Australia. No score on the board. 15 minutes to go in the final of the Champions Trophy. Meyer, it just slips away off her stick. And Keenhausen thumps it forward out of the danger right. Well, it's breathless stuff at either end.
Now it's the Netherlands that's thrown away a little bit of possession. We know that they are very patient in their build-up. They're able to collect the ball, make a good pass, but throwing away a little bit of possession. Perhaps that's a bit of pressure showing with the score remaining at 0-0.
Well, a little angle deflection from the stick of Kate Hollywood. She goes in watchfully. It is beaten. Hoderi. No shortage of confidence in the youngster. He's a candidate for Young Player of the Year. Leaves it to De Brown. And Moreira de Melo. Having that injury into today, she's done well to get out there. They probably thought they needed her experience in the side, getting up towards 200 internationals in experience. And with such a young side, despite the fact that a lot of them played in the 2004 final, we still like to have 1 or 2 players who have that age on them. Lammers off the foot, Australian ball. 14 and a half to go. Well, are we going to see a repeat of the 3rd and 4th place playoff? Too early to say yet. Still 14 minutes to go. Back to Halliday. Oh dear, that was heart palpitation time as Karish rushed at her, and now Hoderi, and they swarm forward in numbers. Madonna Blythe effected a beautiful tackle, snuck away with it like a thief, and Smith takes it to the side but delivers a poor ball, it must be said, to Nikki Hudson. Good work in the build-up, and Madonna Blythe, who's playing well this week, scored a couple of goals. Now back it is to Scottman in the central defensive position. Puts it out into the left side, and way out there is Vroskamp. Good boy, can't find De Bruin, and they're coughing up the odd ball as well, so the pressure mounts. 13 and a half to go, no score in the Champions Trophy final. Kate Hollywood waits for the runner, looks, goes on her own, and a snapping stick can't put her off. Sanders, a missed trap.
It's one of those bumpy balls. It was an easy pass that Kate Hollywood had to give, make it flat, reduce the pressure on the ball receiver.
And now the Australians work with numbers of 5 against 3, but they're chasing hard, the Dutch, pressing hard, and the error comes from the stick of Sanders. Hollywood can't intercept. Von Kinhausen now forwarded a beautiful pass away to Helen Hogue. Hogue rattling with the ball forward, and a timely tackle again from Nick Harold. And the Canberra faithful support their own and the green and gold. And that's an errant scoop forward, and they're going to come up with more pressure against the Australians.
Netherlands providing good pressure, but Australia making it easy for them, turning over the ball all the time. If there's nothing on, Nick Harold had it then, just hold on to it. Don't give it away to them.
Well, it's sweaty Palm Sunday at the moment with 12 and a half to go. No score and a goal. Well, it'll be just the tonic for either side, really. And from the international perspective, certainly the Netherlands favoured to win this contest. Skirving battles hard. Harold, watchful. Sanders, it slides away, but she's going to keep it in. Walker makes the run inside, but a little belatedly, and De Bruin comes up with it. Jiska Snooks, a late bloomer, only came into the national side at 24. She's got pace. Ellen Hogue, twit chases, still with Hogue. Lammers and Imerson, a beautiful read, and saves their bacon yet again.
Rachel Imerson, just outstanding. Great play by the Netherlands. Great build-up play by them. We know how dangerous they are. It's Hogue again. She's everywhere. She makes the pass through. It was lifted. Rachel Imerson, though, cleans up for Australia. Well read.
Well, that's incredible presence from a goalkeeper with all the rigmarole, all the gear on to rattle off your line, to get out to the edge of the circle, to time the run. She's done so. Is she going to be called into action again? Ellen Hogue proving to be a real danger for them. Hogue now feeds it forward, but not quite the right line for Sylvia Karish to take advantage of. And Ellen Hogue, who suffered some major trauma in the family and sadness with the death of her father just a few months ago, has risen in stature as an international player. She's playing a glorious match today.
Only 19 years of age, and just plays with great composure and just provides so much. We've seen in this match, if we had to pick 2 players, one from either side, Rachel Imerson has made some absolutely critical saves for Australia, and it's been Hogue, the 19-year-old Ellen Hogue, has been brilliant in attack for the Netherlands.
Oh, 0-0, a belated swipe out from deep in the Netherlands defence. Caused some anxiety on the bench too, and grimacing, and the looks of inquisition now starting to occur for the Netherlands. 10 and a half minutes to go before we move into the zone of extra time. Will it get there? Seem to come off the foot of Twit. Play on. Hogue, relentless, pulls it away now to Karish in the centre. Lammers screams for the ball, but does not receive it, and it comes away again. Australia is coming up with the slight error. They're going to give up possession once more. Hogue robbed by Sanders. And again, you can see the intensity, the aggression. Karish, good play, runs straight into Sanders. Could have been a free hit against. Space now for Von Kinhausen. Lammers waits at the post. Who was going to have this, looking for the reverse stick? And no, play on. Oh, beautiful tackle. Everyone was looking at the penalty corner spot. Great tackle from Jiska Snooks. Gives the opportunity for Cordery. And now feeding through is Skirving. Oh, it's desperation from both sides in attack and defence. High ball, and it catches Yannicka Skolkman on the hand, and Skolkman, the civil engineer, goes down with a hand in what seems to be a very painful situation.
Should have been a penalty corner for the Netherlands. We watch This is the raised ball by Emily Halliday, and apart from it's always nasty when you're holding your stick, the stick's a pretty hard object, when your fingers are on there. She was clipped by Emily Halliday. A couple of things happened. Penalty corner should have been given to Van Geenhausen for the Netherlands, but then Australia got the ball back. Emily Halliday too rushed, too much panic, gave the ball away, lifted. Now the Netherlands, Scotland's back, they've got the ball.
And they've got the triple trio up in the circle there of Hogue, Karish and Lammers, and they're going a circuitous route to try and find them here. 9 minutes to go. Pressure intense. Australia have enjoyed a good period in attack, but now they're forced to resist, and they haven't seen the other end of the field for a couple of minutes.
We can see in the background there, the pitch is drying out. It's pretty warm, hot conditions, a little bit breezy. Generally makes the ball a little bit more bobbly when you're playing on a dry pitch.
Yiska Snooks playing well for her side on that little bit flat-footed, catches the defence. Van Geenhausen now, again, a swivel and a dart. High pressure right at this moment. The Australians don't want to be caught flat-footed. Lammers waits on the edge of the circle, so too Karish. She scored 4 goals. Is she going to improve on that? Lammers waits at the far post as Sarah Taylor looks to weave a path out of trouble. The Brown to feed it back into the zone. Well, it's been anchored on this side of the field, and now it'll be Halliday with a release. Not powerful enough, or not well directed enough. Minka Boy spreads it wide now. Here's Macha Palman. Releases away to Hoddery. She's left and right. She's full of vim and vigour now. Attacks, but they wait with poise, the Australian defence. And, well, that's errantly slapped forward too. Not too much composure there in the crunch. And they're going to come at them again. Mel Twitt there with a pass she might want to revisit later on as they need to press. And Madonna Blythe almost comes up with a definitive attacking lunge. 7.5 to go, and the applause more out of nervousness and tension than anything else, I think, from this home crowd for Australia.
Don't you love the pressure? Everyone's making mistakes. Emily Halliday's made a few in a row. The Netherlands get it back. They make a mistake. They give a turnover. The last 7 minutes, what is critical and who will probably win this match is who controls the ball the most, who shows enough composure. And obviously the work ethic has to keep up. Australia just get and give. And the Netherlands, great marking by De Bruin. Great marking. Well done.
To Naomi Van Aas, tracking her as Harold. And Harold, a couple of great bits of defensive work and a little flick off the stick. There's advantage to Australia. Twitt pours away. Rivers is there. So too Hudson. She can't find Rivers, but they're going to get it anyway from the edge, right side. Flowing into the northwesterly breeze, the Australians. Can they pump one into the back of the net? Battling hard, it's still there, but it gets away from Megan Rivers. Westphal, born representative in this Australian side, is giving her all today.
Minka Boy yelling all sorts of instructions to her team.
Sarah Taylor making it hard for De Bruin. Walker comes in. Let's play on. There's 2 good, very firm tackles. But winning out is Van Geenhausen, and she has performed today as well. The number 7, the 23-year-old with 108 caps to her credit. She's had a gloriously inventive game, considering she suffered some serious whiplash last year in a car accident. As we watch now Australia with Taylor forward now, away to Hudson. Hudson with 1 on 3. Going to deter her again, but Minka Boy comes away from the Netherlands, and they're backing away from her. She waits for Blythe to go in, just poised, the shadow over the player with the ball. Naomi Van Aas, not too much forward for the Netherlands, but Hoddery can turn that midfield penetration into attack. She has the ball on the stick. The lunge comes from Skirving, still with Hoddery, holds it up. Only Lammers in the circle forward. And it goes the way of Australia, and Skirving over her younger, exuberant opponent.
Well played, Angie Skirving. Angie Skirving at one end for Australia, making great flat stick tackles, and at the other end it's been Minka Boy. Australia's come up with the ball. Australia not happy. Madonna Blythe said it hit a Netherlands stick. It was an Australian ball. Decision reversed. At the other end, Minka Boy has been making some great tackles. So far, there's been 3 or 4 occasions. Nikki Hudson has dragged it on to her flat. She needs to tuck it into the other side.
Trucking into the circle is Kim Lammers now, and Saskia Fuchs has a drive forward, but they give away an attacking penalty again to the Dutch side. An infringement in attack. An offensive penalty is a bad one. But the Australians now, 4.5 to go. Well, if it is level at full time, we go to have 7.5 minutes of extra time each, but it is golden goal, and you'd say it's entering that zone now. It'd be tough to pull one back should the score go on the board right at this moment, considering how tight the game has been.
Critical time, 4 minutes. Plenty of time to score a goal, but obviously you don't want to go too defensive. You need to play smart. You still need to create the opportunities to win the match. It'd be much better to win the match 1-0 now than going to golden goal.
Thump forward, Alcorn taken off her stick by Powman. Matcha Powman, the 22-year-old, anchoring the left side in defence. And, well, a little error there, but Blythe couldn't make them pay. The Netherlands now break, but a swarm of green and gold defenders around trying to keep up the prestigious history of Australian women's hockey. There are 7 survivors from the 2003 winning side. The only real trophy in the last 5 years for the Australians. And what happened there? Jen Morris?
It was a good ball by Fatima Maria de Mello, and Kobe McGurk almost swinging at it above her shoulder. She doesn't want to do that. It's automatic 5-minute send-off.
Swung downfield. Maria de Mello, circumspect. Holdery, she's not. Goes the only way she knows. Hard forward and bristling with confidence. Again, Lammers waits like a sentinel in the circle, and so too Fuchs. And, well, that's out over the boundary. 6. Going to come back again, and they wait once more. The Netherlands for the goal that will give them the ascendancy. There's a lurking customer on the far post, not spotted by Skirving at the moment, but it doesn't matter. Australia come up with it, 2.5 to go.
We see Netherlands putting on a press, and Australia did brilliantly well to come out of it.
And now Alcorn. Wendy Alcorn goes again, driving hard. Well kept in by Hudson. Beautiful skill, and they win out. Smith's in the circle, so too Madonna Blythe. Can they find the goal at the death here, the Australians? And Melanie Twitt, it's still there for her. No, it's not. It's off the foot of Mel Twitt. Oh, it was there for just a brief moment, and the chance evaporated. 2 minutes to go exactly before extra time. And that lunging, great piece of control from Hoderi at appeals, and she played for that and showed some poise, the youngster.
Number 7.
Well, no error country we are at the moment, but we will be for extra time as well. And Alcorn in space again. Nikki Hudson's there. And Nikki Hudson, it's robbed off her stick and off the foot of Hollywood, was it? Yes, it was.
Great play from both teams. Nikki Harold made a great pass, and then it was fantastic defence by Shotman. We watch here, she came back well. She did fantastically well. Remember she's got an incredibly sore finger.
Yes, definitely has. Fed out by Stockman. To Marcia Powman. And now forward to Keenhausen. Just muscles Harold off the ball. And great control. Twitt snapping away. Ball on the inside to Maria de Mello. And they go again for Keenhausen. That's Australia. Relentless, stoic in defence. Angie Skirving the rock, and Alcorn breaks. There's an opportunity left side. The spread is on. It needed to go straight away to Hollywood, but a thunderous pass up the centre and comes to no effect. And well, operating in space was Kate Hollywood.
Kate Hollywood was lingering. She should have been screaming for it. Karen Smith looked up, didn't give the pass, just give the early pass.
And that's hit into the knee of Karen Smith. No high ball, and last 26 seconds before we move into extra time. And are we going to see penalties? Dare I really want to play for the penalty shootout, do you? Even though that'll be a 50-50 exercise, one would think. Alcorn now away, and that's just outside the 23. It would have been a penalty corner. They play on quickly, still with Alcorn. Near posters, Hollywood and rushing. And they receive it. Hollywood still on the near post, and Blythe is there lurking. So the numbers for Australia. The run comes from Alcorn.
Watch for the slap pass in by Angie Skirving. She's very effective.
And is it going to be the tackle is made on Scopeman and an irregular one, and the Dutch breathe a sigh of release, relief and release. They're about to downfield. 5 minutes to go in the first period of extra time. Pinker Boy, look at surrounded. A heavy press from the Australians and a good one. Hudson, hold the position. That's the call. To Von Hinhausen. She's dangerous in the one-on-one and does well. Karras is available. Ellen Hogue in the centre. Good tackle from Twitt. Here she keeps coming. Karras, Twitt, unrelenting, keeps going and dives. But what a tackle in the end. But the danger not gone. Barrera de Mayo, ball on the stick, and the numbers not many in the centre. And she wins out. Now we'll have time to congregate. Von Hinhausen in the middle. So too Karras. Hoderi. And it's swiped across, and there's a big chance, but Iverson again puts the frame in the way with Skirving to keep them at bay. Oh, Karras was looking to poach the winning goal at the near post. It's going to come back again. The reverse stick too high, too dangerous. 3 minutes 59 to go in the first period of extra time.
Great play. Came across. Miranda de Mello hits it, and it was Angie Skirving, I think, that got in there.
Twit's looked to be off the foot of Karen Smith. Not so. Well, she's surrounded here. Twitt wants to release it away to Blythe. Does so to Skirving. Quick ball, good vision. Away to Madonna Blythe. Smith's forward, but not too much on option there for the Australians. But they do get the ball from the restart. They're about 30 metres out. 3.5 to go. First period of extra time. Hollywood's in the circle. Can she be found? Nikki Hudson drives hard and then has to leap over the ball. Now Lammers back to help. Marrero de Melo. One forward is Ellen Hogue. And galloping downfield is Lammers. Hogue's found space. Trucking back to cover her now is McGurk. She does well, Hogue. Lammers in the centre. Still Ellen Hogue. Plays it off the foot and earns the free hit. It'll be quickly taken, looking for Lammers. Hoderi. And tries the pass. Well read it was by Hollywood, but it's going to come back from Marrero de Melo. Here's Hoderi. And a good interception from Walker. She does well. They're poised. They're concentrating as well as they possibly could at the moment, the Australians. Can they keep it going? Hoderi. She's found plenty of room today. To Lammers now. And in the centre, Karras waits, and so too Ellen Hogue. Still with Lammers. Oh, ball stuck to the stick. Australia come away. Oh no, they've given up the penalty corner off the foot. It's a critical decision. Lammers with a hand tap with her young teammate. And now the Dutch side can steal the Champions Trophy. Is this a controversial decision? It possibly is as well. No.
Definitely a penalty corner.
Definitely a penalty corner. So we'll watch now as the strike force, the battery, are going to climb in that at the edge of the area. It is Lammers. It is Lammers. And boy, the save from Iverson, scooped away. Still now Lammers missed the chance. She slaps it in, and a beautiful trap from Halliday and swipes it downfield. Great stuff from the Australian defence. They survive again, and Rachel Iverson, brilliant once more.
Cool as cool. Minka Boy hits it in, straight at the goalkeeper. Well done by Rachel Iverson, and fired out by Emily Halliday, and Australia get away with it.
1 minute 20 to go, first period of extra time in the Champions Trophy Women's Hockey for 2005. Remembering, golden goal wins the tournament. Well, we go to penalties. And, well, let's hope it's decided in this period of extra time.
Well done by Australia. Deep in their left-hand side. Sometimes it's simply a push, get a free hit and go again. Work up the field, get a bit of possession.
Well, that was a beautiful bit of defensive work from Emily Halliday, the 26-year-old from the Melville club, originally in WA. They showed great character, and now they're going to need to show a little bit more. As rushing downfield, Sophie Holtkamp. She's a great technician as well, despite a small number of caps. And some good play there from the youngster, Marrero de Melo, as they battle hard. Naomi Van Huss in the circle. Here's Jerska Snooks, the Australians back, looking to get moving in defence. And it's away, and they concede an offensive foul again, the Netherlands. Last few seconds of this first half of extra time. And Holdcamp away to Moreira de Melo now, and Hoderi has been dynamite with the ball on the stick. Hoderi in the centre, she's going to look for Lammers perhaps, or Ellen Hogue, and wins the free hit just outside the circle. No, it's not going to be taken. Time up in the first period of extra time. And Rachel Ineson, well, she'd be great inspiration to the young children affected by cerebral palsy and spina bifida in the Princess Margaret Hospital for Children in Perth. She's qualified to make artificial limbs, but some of her goalkeeping today, she looks as though she had a few extra herself. She's been brilliant in the match. They turn round immediately. And 7.5 to go before we enter that zone of extra time or penalties.
It doesn't get much tighter than this. I'm pleased to see for Australia Wendy Elkhorn has come on. She's provided great spark for the Australians up front so far. The Netherlands had quite a number of opportunities. Australia not in the circle so much in the first half of extra time. Netherlands created more. Both teams will be feeling pretty fatigued, and generally when you're fatigued, errors creep into the game. It becomes more than a physical, it becomes a game of mental toughness. Who can make the least errors and who can create the most of their opportunities.
Thrilling stuff, and Lammers working hard. Ellen Hogue, the youngster, in the centre, Van Us, and they work it down that left side, but no way through. Australia congregating heavily in the circle. One error and the Champions Trophy gone. It's swatted in, and there's a chance from Naomi Van Aers, and she hits it. Looked to be high. Kobe McGurk was like a tree. And it's a penalty corner. Well, surely.
It looked like it was hit up into Kobe McGurk. We watched the ball come across. It was lifted, but the advantage was played and the shot was taken, and it was hit high into Kobe McGurk.
Well, another curious decision as Moreira de Melo waits on the edge of the area, so too Lammers. Is it going to be Lammers who has the dipper, or are they going to rush at the post? And it is going to be Lammers. No, it's in the back of the net, and they win!
Oh no, here we go. The Netherlands are celebrating. It looked to me like I didn't agree that it was a penalty corner in the first place, but it was a fantastically well taken. No, it's been disallowed.
It's been disallowed. They go again. Yannicka Scottman is in absolute disbelief. And high drama here as we see the ball delivered. And it was a rehearsed move. And Yannicka Scottman has slid it in. Well, we can only wonder about that mystery. Maybe it did not go fully outside the circle.
Well, the first shot at goal has to hit the backboard. But it was a deflection. There's a lot of confusion. Netherlands definitely thought that they'd scored.
Well, high drama at the national capital as Scottman had plundered the goal, it seemed, to win the match, but no goal.
The first shot at goal, if it's not flung, must hit the backboard. Often a deflection, the reason that's allowed is because the first shot is on the way to the goal. I think the umpires actually got it right. Very controversial. The first shot at goal, it was going so wide, it was a pass, it wasn't a shot at goal, so the first shot at goal was in fact the goal shot, which was higher than the backboard, disallowed.
Okay, but it was, well, the Dutch thought they'd nailed it, so they hadn't looked quite closely enough at the rule book perhaps. As we watch now them slap it in again. And they're looking for Lammers. Oh dear, at the near post. She almost snatched it as well.
Shotman, who hit the goal, and it was disallowed. All she had to do was slap it in. You see this is one of their attacks. Shotman again hitting it in, but foiled by Australia. High controversy.
Well, it is indeed. So both sides have had a goal disallowed, and the final will be noteworthy for that. And certainly many other dramatic episodes, but none greater than that as Moreira de Melo slides away and looks to give it to Ellen Hogue. So we're 4.5 minutes away from penalty strokes to decide this contest after it looked to be decided. Well, 4 minutes. 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 4 Ease back into their seats again. Are we going to go to that?
Good trap by Brown. Nikki Hudson was sitting in behind her, hoping that she would mistrap it.
Mahodari. They move it with some discipline forward again. Will dink over the top, only finds Skirving. Edged off the stick. Well, Hollywood away to Alcorn. And can't be controlled on the edge from Sophie Polkamp. 3 minutes 50 away from penalty strokes, but Hudson's in space and making the runners Taylor. They had to go to Taylor surely, but Hudson might not have looked up in time. Alcorn will leave it away for Twitt. Twitt slips it into the edge of the circle. It comes away. And now the Dutch break, and here's Ellen Hogue once again, but the ball out of play on the edge of the field. 3.5 to go as we climb into that zone of high intensity. If it hasn't been already, the crowd fatigued from the drama, and so too the players. 2 disallowed goals, 1 disallowed golden goal. Well, the Dutch thought they'd secured the victory, and now Australia have a chance to snatch it. Quickly taken by Twitt, but she didn't tell her teammates. Harold and McGurk off the foot, and then sort of spoons it away off the edge. Harold calmly, coolly back to McGurk. Hudson's upfield, so too Hollywood, and Alcorn looks for it. And Alcorn looking for the edge. It would have provided Hudson with a chance. 2 minutes 45 seconds away from penalty strokes to decide the Champions Trophy. And downfield.
Netherlands will be looking to press Australia in on one side. Out too easily. Well played, Australia. Mark Lammers won't be happy with that, but a turnover by Australia.
Hoderi feeds it forward. A dash from Sylvia Karish, robbed by McGurk, but they'll take it from the edge. And Lammers waits in the centre circle yet again. And we're all up there. Mr. Snooks. And Karish appealing, all to no avail. No, she does win out. So a second thought and afterthoughts. 1 minute, 51 seconds to go. And the Australians, can they hold out defensively? When all seemed lost, they've had to regather their composure. Now, it's going to go in the centre, flying across, oh dear, off the edge of an Australian stick. Here goes Ellen Hogue, slaps the reverse stick in, saved it is.
Well done.
It's a penalty corner.
Well done. It's that player again, Ellen Hogue, gets a shot on her reverse, saved by Rachel Imeson, but deflected into Australian for a penalty corner. Ball comes across, Hogue manages to get it. Good defence by Kate Hollywood, but a reverse stick shot. Rachel Imeson saves and up into Angie Skirving.
Well, they're going to go for a pure Lammers drive with a minute to go to win the contest. Or is it going to be another variation? And it's the shot blocked by Skirving. Brilliant work. And Australia will press downfield as Minka Boy had the drive at goal. 49 seconds to go. That was a lifesaver as well. And Sarah Taylor looks and waits patiently for the play to come. 41 seconds away from penalties. Helen Hogue, oh, she's been venomous throughout the day, but cool is Kobe McGurk through the legs, Watho, and still they battle hard. Harold comes up with it, downfield to Hudson. Hudson can't spurt away from Minka Boyer. She feeds it in, some indecision. Player goes down, should be play on. It is, and the infringement goes against the Netherlands. They'll force it to be retaken. 13 seconds to go. The ball will barely have time to work its way to the other end of the field. And the clock has stopped.
Caress has been sent off. I'm not sure if it was from a bad tackle and then she had some words to say. We didn't exactly see what happened, but 5 or 10 minutes, which means that the Netherlands will have to play with one down in the first bit of extra half. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes in total. It's up to the discretion of the umpire.
Well, they'll be without a penalty strike player, of course. And the ball downfield. Here's the shot from Taylor. Still there for Hudson. What a save it was. What a save from De Rolfa. she's come up with brilliance with 1 second remaining, and we go to penalties to decide the Champions Trophy.
I was getting carried away there. Of course, it's penalty strokes. Caress, we don't know if she's one of their main penalty stroke takers. Of course, they'll still go in with 5 stroke takers. If she was one, she won't be able to take one. Wow, penalty strokes. Well done, Australia and the Netherlands. Exciting stuff right up until the dying seconds.
And again, it is in a one way, it's one of the more painful ways to end a contest, but it is highly dramatic as we watch the last moments. And it was Sarah Taylor and then Hudson with a reverse stick, and it seemed to catch her flush on the helmet, but that is commitment, that is body on the line.
Oh, tremendous commitment from the Dutch keeper De Rova. That seemed to hit a flush in the face, and that's why they have those masks. No goals, so in a couple of minutes we'll be going to penalty strokes. My mind goes back to Australia and Uruguay and another code a couple of weeks ago. We got a good outcome there, and they're calling Rachel Imerson these days Schwarzer, Claire. I think she's up to the task, but what about some of these young Australian players being asked to take strokes?
Well, again, another opportunity for Frank Murray to see how his young players perform under pressure. I suppose the obvious choices to take penalty strokes in this instance are Nikki Hudson and Angie Skirving, probably Melanie Twitt, but beyond that, he may be scratching around for someone to put their hand up, because this is a real chance for those young kids to say, hey, I'm serious about being part of this team in the long term and I've got plenty to offer.
It'll be interesting to see who the coaches nominate as their 5 players to take the strokes. They just get a little bit of a break now for the coaches to have the chance to talk to their players and for the paperwork to be filled out about who's going to take the strokes. And the crowd here's had a fantastic afternoon's entertainment. They've already seen the China-Argentina game go to strokes, and that went to the 3rd lot of strokes. So that kind of drama would just about have these people reaching for something stronger to drink.
I think when both these
Penalty strokes previously, they like to do their homework.
Yes. Well, Nick Arrold's one of the local favourites here, so no pressure. Nick at the Rofa, full of confidence after that last save. This is the first of the penalty strokes. Intense concentration. Secures the first one.
Well done, Nick Arrold. De Rofa had no real chance. It was a very well taken stroke. It was flung hard, it was flung high. Australia, 1 out of 1.
Well, now Marcia Powman, who registered one from this exact spot in the first match of the tournament against Argentina to win at the death. Can she repeat against Imerson? Oh, almost a save from Imerson. She got the glove to it, the whip to it, but it is 1-1.
Great shot taken by Powman, flung with such power. Rachel Imerson, oh, she'll be dirty with that, got a stick on it.
Next up for Australia, Angie Skirving.
Angie Skirving, we know how hard she can flick the ball from her penalty corners.
And now some body language here with the keeper, Nissan De Rofa, giving us some heavy eye contact. Skirving, not waiting, bouncing up and down, ready to go, ready to fire the bullet. Oh, no.
Hit the post.
Away. It's a miss. And Skirving can't believe it.
It was actually just a millimetre, hit the post. It still goes down as a miss, but my goodness, did she fire that hard. De Rofa was nowhere near it, but it goes down as a miss.
Well, we still go through with the 5, but the Netherlands certainly with the advantage now. But Imerson can save her respected teammate. Skolkman comes up. And she's missed as well. Oh.
Very wide, missing the net. Rachel Imerson didn't have to do anything.
Up for Australia, Nikki
It slides
Hudson.
wide and you see her reaction, her emotion at missing it. Just, it's palatable, the pressure.
Well, the Australian sporting audience well attuned to the penalty stroke situation. The penalty shots took Australia to the World Cup soccer finals. Can the hockey team repeat the dose? Nikki Hudson. And yes, it feeds its way in. A good leap by De Rofa. With the advantage back with the home side, and Hudson with a wry smile.
Hard luck really, Darofa. She picked the right way. It was halfway up the net. Not a good place to put a penalty straight, but Nikki Hudson says, who cares? A goal is a goal.
Best to level it up. Oh, and it slides it low, does Lammers. The most prolific goal scorer in the Netherlands' current side makes it 2 apiece, and the pressure still on, 2 remaining in the first 5, and then sudden death. We're going to get to that as Emily Halliday moves up. 2 apiece. If this goes in, the pressure will move to Dutch shoulders. Can she do it? Can she secure the lead? And does so between the keeper's legs, audaciously.
Well done, Emily Halliday. She takes a deep breath here. I'm sure she's taken better penalty strokes, but who cares? Often the goalkeepers are looking to go left or right when straight between the pads.
Emerson, she was involved in one this year in India. Rachel Emerson. It's Marera de Melo. Comes up, oh, dribbles it in, and she smiles. So it is 3-all, and we are now really in the no-miss zone for either side. Not yet sudden death, but Rebecca Sanders can put the pressure on, or the pressure can go back on the Netherlands. So Rebecca Sanders, who's scored twice in the tournament so far, the first 2 goals for Australia in green and gold. Can she do it today? Sanders does so brilliantly, sensationally.
Well done, Rebecca Sanders. She's been one of the stars of the Australian team. She's a new player, and this is it.
And this means that Hoderi must secure this to take it into sudden death. The youngster with so much of a future for the Netherlands comes up with the pressure on her shoulders. She must make it count. Well, likewise, can it be the save to win the Champions Trophy? Oh, it goes to sudden death in the penalty situation now. 4 apiece.
We saw the bronze medal playoff between China and Argentina go to sudden death penalty strokes, and we're seeing it again to decide the gold and silver medals. Well done by Hoderi. Great pressure.
It's now sudden death.
It's sudden death, and it can be in any order.
But they're saying that the same 5 players in any order, but then the actual, it will switch who takes. So Netherlands was second last time. They'll step up to go first this time.
Yes, indeed. And it is the prime penalty stroke taker for the Dutch side in Matja Pauwman. 20-year-old, only played 18 internationals, moves in, and it's in the back of the net. Hymerson made a brave attempt. And now there is so much pressure on each stroke taker. Oh, to be inside the head of Nicole Arrold, who comes up to keep it alive. She must score to keep Australia in the Champions Trophy. It's saved! It's the win to the Dutch! Oh, despair for Australia, but absolute jubilation for the Dutch side. The defending champions defend, but it came to the critical moments of the penalty stroke. What a way to lose, what a way to win. Agony and joy in the same breath.
Well done to the Netherlands. High pressure situation, Australia. They'll be devastated in the short term now, but I'm sure Frank Murray will get his players together and say, what a great tournament. The Netherlands, they came here as favourites, and they finally got over the line. It took everything. It took extra time. It took penalty strokes, sudden death penalty strokes. And in the end, they've come up and they've defended their Champions Trophy.
Well, they're singing and dancing, but there's such a fine line between grief and absolute elation, and they're visiting the best side of that, the Dutch team, who were denied surprisingly at the Olympics by the German team, who came up with a victory against the odds. But since that moment they've won a Champions Trophy and they've won in Europe, and now they defend the Champions Trophy. But generous applause from the valiant Australian side, who performed beyond expectations for Marcia Hoderi, uncontainable in her joy. And the rest of the side now can breathe a sigh of relief, but for it to go to that, highly dramatic. And in terms of the history between the two sides, it is one penalty stroke situation of peace, but that's of little consolation to the Australians. Dutch jubilation, they win the 2005.